Thank you for joining us from Abidjan. We thought we might ask you a few questions regarding your recent selection by AfricaFrance for the first edition of its Young Leaders Program. So are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, and good morning to all of you.
Thank you. Everybody's fine here. So how do you feel to be recognized as a promising young leader in Africa?
Well, I must say I'm very much honored for this recognition, but I'm also very humble because this comes along with all the people that have helped me on the way. And I think it's also a very good platform for broadcasting Mauritius and for all that we have been doing for Africa.
Thank you. But I'm just curious, what motivated you in the first place to apply for this program?
Actually, what motivated me to apply for this initiative was really the opportunity to discuss and brainstorm with future leaders of the continent about the problematics that we have today and how together we can brainstorm and bring about concrete solutions.
Thank you. And to be honest, were you expecting that you would make it to the final selection?
Never. I mean, I knew the first edition was going to attract a lot of candidates. I mean, from my network, I know that a lot of people have applied, and I'm really very honored to have been selected. It was not easy. A lot of very high caliber person has been interviewed, and really it's a great achievement for me.
Good, very good. How do you expect now that this program is going to help you in your work on a daily basis? And well, overall, how does the program seek to contribute to the development of Africa?
Well, if you know ABAX, the firm that I work with, so one of our philosophy is really to add value to entrepreneurs and to businesses in Africa. And I think this program fits exactly in what we're trying to do, and that's why we set up in Abidjan, is really to be closer to the entrepreneurs, to the businessmen, and try to see how together we can bring value to their business, bring value to their lives. And definitely this program, by getting connected to high caliber people, to the future leaders of tomorrow, I think that would really give us an advantage, would give us proximity, would give us an openness that we wouldn't be having otherwise.
Okay.
And as regards the development of Africa, it also goes through advocacy, and I think this program really gives us a platform to make ourselves heard. When I say ourselves, I mean the young generation.
Thank you. As an islander who grew up in Mauritius and who received all her formal education there, how did you develop this passion that you have for Africa?
I think there's two sides of the story. First, of course, I mean, as you know, a lot of Mauritians have African roots, and I myself have some Somalian roots. So I think personally, I always felt attracted to the continent, and I really wanted to do something for the continent. And secondly, I think it's through my work at ABAX, we started an African strategy very early on, and I've been blessed to have been part of the journey and to have done a lot of missions, especially in West Africa, which was quite an unknown place for us. And I think through these visits, through these meetings, through people we have met, there's so many enriching experiments in Africa. So that really motivated me to really bring something, de marquer les esprits.
Thank you. And now that you are based in Abidjan, is your continuous presence there changing your perception on Africa's potential?
Changing, no, but I think it is reinforcing our view that Africa has a lot of potential. Every day we meet with people that are bright people, excellent ideas, but just don't have the means to put all on that on paper and really to materialize them. So we are definitely confident about the potential of Africa, but we're also very much aware that there is a lot of inefficiency, there's a lot of difficulties. And this is what we are hoping to achieve by being in Abidjan right now, is trying to help people, help entrepreneurs, help young people really unleash all their potential.
Yes, and many people who look at Africa and who know the continent quite well, I'm talking in the likes of people like Fred Swaniker, say that what Africa needs most right now is homebred leaders who can leapfrog the continent's development. In your view, is the continent ready yet to integrate this new generation of young leaders?
I think today is not a question whether the continent is ready or not. We need new young leaders generation, homebred, who has been living on the continent and who knows what are the problematics. We are today in the 2.0 era. There are new ways of doing things. Africa does not have the same chance as the developed countries, and we cannot continue doing what we were doing. We need to bring along disruptive thinking. We need to bring along a young generation. We need to make them engage in the conversation about the development of the continent. And these type of initiatives, being ALM, be it AfricaFrance Young Leaders Program, being YALI, all these are actually platforms that are broadcasting young leaders. And I think more and more people are now ready to accept the fact that young leaders do have a voice. They can contribute. Now, how do we turn this voice into action? This is the question.
Well, thank you, Anjeelee. It's been a real pleasure talking to you. Enjoy the rest of your day.